there was traditionally the 4 Ps, right? Marketing mix. You're suggesting that there's now a 5th P, people.
People. Well, just to be clear for all of the brilliant minds out there over the decades, there have been many discussions about, 8 Ps, but what I have seen that's
it's
been
really price, product, place, promotion. I mean,
right.
Those are pretty much the traditionals. Yeah.
Very much the traditionals, and in other iteratives of this evolution, P for people has been discussed. However, I make the argument for just one additional P right now because we can trace all of this, and that is people, and because social networks is driven by the people. This is that time where democracy of information and content is really driven by we the people. I do believe that in order to make the other 4 Ps work, that 5th P is a catalyst for all of this, and it's something that we haven't necessarily been taken into consideration into the full mix. In fact, it's not necessarily been reverse engineered in a way it probably should have been, but now we have that opportunity to do so. We just have to bring a different mindset to this.
And that's really powerful when you really think about let's add people into the mix and what that means. And in social networking, there was an announcement that Pop Chips, rather than hiring the traditional social media agency and gurus, they went and hired Ashton Kutcher. And he's now the person in charge of pop culture. And I know he wrote the foreword in one of your books. So there's a person who doesn't fit the traditional role of, I need a social media plan. I've got this brand that has brand values, and I'm going to pick him. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a brilliant move. He brings to the table all of his 5 million followers on Twitter. He is hyper connected. He loves
the brand. Is engaged with the brand.
Absolutely.
Is a true fan of the brand.
Engaged with his community. So he actually brings that idea of the audience with the audience with the audience. He is a living and breathing testament to how people need to be folded into the mix. And he is not coming, he's not there just because he's Ashton. I'm sure that's a big part of it. But Ashton is incredibly savvy in terms of how social media
He's got brilliant
operates.
strategy.
Absolutely.
And that's my point, is that traditionally that would have been a degree, that would have been experience, that would have been this and that and that. But the reality is right now, that's not what people are looking for anymore.
Right.
The old halls of advertising and the gurus in the big buildings, you know what? That was a brilliant move.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a brilliant move. And I would hope that we see more things like that. And not even just with the Ashtons of the world, but with just the everyday people of the world. We're seeing that in other brands and other examples, but where that 5th P has to come in is not just from, say, from a publicity standpoint or a marketing genius standpoint. It has to actually have a meaningful connection, and it has to have meaningful sort of a complete cycle that brings it all the way back.